Have you ever wondered why life seems to become unexpectedly harder once someone crosses the milestone of 80 years? For many, the transition from their 70s into their 80s feels like a sudden shift, as if the body and mind decided overnight that things will no longer be as easy as before. Tasks that once felt effortless, walking up a flight of stairs, cooking a favorite meal, remembering a name, or even enjoying a good night's sleep, can suddenly feel heavy, slow, or strangely out of reach. What was manageable just a few years earlier begins to feel overwhelming, and many seniors quietly ask themselves, what changed so quickly? But this isn't about weakness, and it certainly isn't about giving up. It's about understanding the hidden forces that are quietly shaping life after 80. The biological changes that creep in unnoticed, the emotional weight of new realities, and the social adjustments that come when roles, relationships, and health begin to shift. Aging, especially after 80, is not simply a number on a calendar. It's a deeply human experience that tests resilience, challenges identity, and reshapes the way one interacts with the world. And yet, this stage of life is not without hope, beauty, or meaning. In fact, once we shine a light on the real reasons why older adults face new struggles after 80, we can begin to see them not as inevitable defeats, but as challenges that can be met with wisdom, strength, and dignity. Aging is not a story of decline. It is a story of adaptation. It is about learning how to carry the weight of change, while still holding on to joy, purpose, and connection. So today, we're going to peel back the curtain and look honestly at why daily life can feel so much harder after 80. We'll uncover 6 powerful reasons that explain the hidden struggles seniors face, reasons that are physical, emotional, and social. And most importantly, we'll explore how to cope, how to adapt, and how to move forward with resilience. Stay with me until the end, because the final reason may surprise you. It is not one that most people expect, yet it is often the most powerful challenge of all. And once you understand it, it may just change the way you view aging, and even the way you see yourself, forever. As people grow older, one of the most surprising and often frustrating changes they face is a sudden loss of appetite. This isn't the result of dieting, vanity, or lack of interest in food. It's a biological shift that occurs as the body changes with age. After 80, many seniors begin to notice that food no longer brings the same pleasure or comfort it once did. The meals that used to spark excitement and create moments of joy with family now feel heavy, bland, or even unappealing. This decline in appetite is so common that doctors have a name for it: the anorexia of aging. Studies show that anywhere from 15% to 30% of older adults experience persistent appetite loss, making it one of the most widespread, yet least talked about challenges of aging. And it often catches families by surprise. One day, a parent or grandparent may seem perfectly fine, enjoying their usual meals, and the next, they're pushing their plate away after just a few bites. Why does this happen? The reasons are layered and deeply connected to the aging body. Digestion slows down, meaning the stomach feels full more quickly. The body's energy needs naturally decrease, so hunger signals aren't as strong. On top of that, the senses, taste and smell, become less sharp. Foods that once burst with flavor now taste dull, metallic, or simply uninteresting. Hormonal changes, such as shifts in leptin and ghrelin, also confuse the body's hunger cues, leaving seniors feeling indifferent toward meals they once loved. But biology isn't the only factor. Lifestyle and environment play a huge role too. Dehydration can mask itself as loss of appetite. Sedentary habits mean the body doesn't burn enough calories to stimulate hunger. Dental issues, like loose teeth, or gums. Seniors who once enjoyed family meals may find little motivation to eat alone, leading to skipped meals and worsening weakness. The real danger lies in the ripple effect of this quiet change. A slow, steady weight loss might seem harmless at first, but experts warn that even a drop as small as half a pound per year can be a red flag. In fact, 10 to 15% of older adults experience unhealthy, unexplained weight loss that signals something deeper is wrong. And weight loss after 80 doesn't just mean a smaller frame. It means the loss of precious muscle mass, which the body desperately needs to stay strong and independent. Without enough fuel, muscles shrink, balance weakens, and fatigue sets in. Everyday tasks, climbing stairs, carrying groceries, even standing up from a chair, suddenly feel exhausting. Imagine Evelyn, who at 81, always loved her Sunday dinners surrounded by children and grandchildren. She was the first to ask for seconds and the last to leave the table. But within a year, her appetite shifted dramatically. Now she feels full after only a few bites. Her clothes hang loosely on her shoulders, and her energy has drained away. What she, and millions like her, are experiencing isn't just a change in preference. It's a biological and emotional transformation that makes nourishment harder, and the consequences reach far beyond the dinner table. Family members often worry when they see a loved one eating less, urging them to eat just a little more, sometimes creating tension at the table. But the truth is, it isn't about willpower or discipline. It's about the way the aging body works. Appetite loss is not a choice. It is a signal that the body is shifting gears. And unless it's addressed, this seemingly simple problem can spiral into bigger challenges: frailty, falls, hospital visits, and isolation. This is why appetite loss after 80 is one of the most important, yet overlooked, struggles of aging. It doesn't just steal strength, it can quietly take away independence, confidence, and joy. And understanding this hidden battle is the first step toward helping seniors not just eat better, but live better. Another hidden but very powerful challenge that many seniors face after turning 80 is an increased sensitivity to medications. What once felt routine and safe in their 60s and 70s can suddenly feel unpredictable, risky, and even frightening in their 80s. Here's why. As the body ages, the liver and kidneys, the two main organs responsible for filtering and metabolizing drugs, slow down. They simply don't process medications as quickly as they once did. At the same time, the body's composition changes. Muscle mass decreases, fat stores increase, and water content goes down. All of these shifts affect the way medicine travels through the bloodstream and how long it stays in the body. That means a pill that used to wear off in a few hours may now linger for an entire day. A dose that once felt gentle and helpful can suddenly feel overwhelming. Seniors often describe this change as though their body has become too sensitive, but in truth, it's the natural biology of aging. And it's not just one pill. The consequences are real and often life-changing. Common side effects of medication sensitivity include dizziness, sedation, confusion, digestive issues, and extreme fatigue. For an 80-year-old, even one dizzy spell can result in a devastating fall. A few days of confusion can strip away confidence and independence. And a single trip to the hospital caused by an adverse drug reaction can take weeks, even months, to recover from, if recovery happens at all. Consider Frank, who is 83. For years, he took his blood pressure medication without any issues. But recently, he began experiencing sudden dizzy spells, so severe that he stopped walking to the corner store he used to visit daily. When he spoke to his doctor, he was told that his body now reacts differently to the very same dosage he had been taking for decades. Even the smallest adjustment in medication now requires close monitoring. For Frank, the hardest part isn't just the dizziness itself, it's the constant worry. The fear that he never knows how his body will react on any given day. This unpredictability creates a heavy emotional burden. Seniors may lose trust in their own bodies, hesitant to go out, travel, or even spend time with family because they fear a medication side effect will suddenly disrupt their day. Many quietly withdraw from social life, not because they want to, but because they feel trapped by the uncertainty of their health. And then there's the loss of independence. A senior who once managed their prescriptions confidently may now rely on caregivers or family members just to keep track of which pills to take, when, and in what dosage. The complexity of managing multiple medications can be overwhelming, especially when memory or vision begins to decline. What used to be a simple routine becomes a daily source of stress. This is why experts warn that medication management after 80 is not just a matter of following doctor's orders. It is a delicate balancing act. Every prescription needs CA. Another major challenge seniors face after 80 is the body's slower recovery from illness, injury, or surgery. It's one of those changes that creeps in gradually. Yet once it becomes noticeable, it can transform the way a person views their health, their independence, and even their confidence in daily life. In earlier decades, bouncing back from sickness might have been uncomfortable, but it was usually quick. A flu that knocked someone down for a few days in their 50s or 60s might require only a week of rest and fluids. A minor injury, like twisting an ankle, would heal in time with little lasting impact. Even surgery, while serious, was often followed by a steady, reassuring recovery. But after 80, the body's natural ability to heal slows dramatically, and what once felt like temporary setbacks now linger for weeks, sometimes months. Why does this happen? The answer lies in the biology of aging. As we grow older, cell regeneration slows down. The skin, muscles, and organs simply don't repair themselves as quickly as they once did. The immune system weakens, meaning it takes longer to fight off infections, and when it does, the process is less efficient. Seniors also lose muscle mass and bone density as part of the natural aging process, which makes the body less resilient overall. On top of that, chronic diseases, such as diabetes, heart conditions, or arthritis, add extra weight to an already slowed-down recovery system. Even something as small as a cut or bruise doesn't heal the way it used to. Wound healing slows down because there are fewer blood vessels delivering oxygen and nutrients to the affected area. The cells that rush to repair tissue in youth become sluggish with age, and circulation issues or poor nutrition often worsen the delay. According to Harvard Health, this slowdown means that wounds remain open longer, increasing the risk of infection. What was once a minor scrape can now become a serious concern. Surgeries or fractures are even more challenging. A hip fracture at 40 might be a painful inconvenience, but at 80 it can be life-changing, with recovery stretching across months, often requiring physical therapy, support devices, and in many cases, long-term lifestyle changes. For some, it can even mark the transition from independent living to assisted care. The stakes are even higher with critical illness. Studies show that among those aged 80 and above, only about 1 in 4 patients who suffer a serious ICU-level illness regain their full baseline function. In other words, 75% never return to the same level of independence they had before. This sobering statistic reflects not just the fragility of the aging body, but also the reality that every health setback after 80 can have permanent consequences. Imagine Helen, an 84-year-old woman who underwent knee surgery to repair an old injury. 20 years earlier, she had a similar procedure and bounced back in a matter of weeks, back to her garden, her walks, and her active lifestyle. But this time, recovery felt endless. Physical therapy exhausted her, pain lingered longer than expected, and simple tasks like standing in the kitchen became draining. She found herself asking, "Why is this so much harder now?" Helen's story is not unusual. It mirrors what countless seniors go through when they realize their bodies no longer heal at the same pace. And the difficulty is not just physical. Slower recovery often brings a heavy emotional toll. Each setback can create fear. Fear of falling again, fear of getting sick again, fear of being a burden on loved ones. Many seniors lose confidence in their bodies and begin limiting activities, even ones they once enjoyed. A man who loved his daily walks might avoid them after an illness leaves him weak for weeks, worried he won't make it back home safely. A woman who adored hosting family dinners may stop because standing and moving around leaves her too fatigued. This loss of confidence can spiral into isolation and reduced quality of life. Slower recovery also affects families. Loved ones often have to step in, providing care and support for longer periods than expected. What was thought to be a short hospital stay might turn into months of rehabilitation. The emotional strain of watching a parent or grandparent struggle can weigh heavily on everyone involved. But it's important to remember, while recovery does slow down after 80, it does not mean it's impossible. With the right support, strong nutrition, safe physical activity, preventative care, and medical guidance, seniors can still heal, adapt, and regain quality of life. What matters most is understanding that healing takes longer, planning for it, and approaching it with patience rather than frustration. The truth is, after 80, every illness, injury, or surgery carries more weight than it once did. But by acknowledging this reality, seniors and their families can set realistic expectations, reduce risks, and support recovery in a way that preserves dignity and independence for as long as possible. One of the lesser-known but most powerful forces shaping life after 80 is the decline in resilience and physiological robustness. In simple terms, Resilience is the body's ability to bounce back, whether from an illness, an injury, or even an emotional setback. Robustness refers to the hidden strength built into our systems that allows us to keep going even when challenges strike. For much of life, we take these for granted. A stressful week, a cold, or a small accident might slow us down temporarily, but the body finds a way to repair, adapt, and return to balance. But as the years pass, especially after the age of 75, this built-in buffer begins to thin. Scientists describe this as reaching a tipping point, a stage where health deficits, the small wear and tear accumulated over a lifetime, begin to pile up faster than the body can repair them. At this point, the balance shifts. Instead of the body easily bouncing back, even minor setbacks start leaving deeper marks. Think about it like a bridge. When newly built, the bridge is strong, flexible, and able to handle heavy loads. Over time, cracks appear, small repairs are made, and the bridge continues to function. But eventually, the wear outpaces the repairs, and one day, even a light load, a small truck instead of a heavy one, can cause visible strain. The bridge hasn't suddenly given up. It has simply reached a stage where its resilience has worn thin. The human body is very much the same. This is why after 80, something seemingly small, a mild infection, a bad fall, or even a stressful emotional event, can cause an outsized decline. What would have been an inconvenience at 60 can turn into weeks or months of recovery at 80. A senior who develops the flu may not just lose a week to fever and fatigue. They may lose muscle strength, appetite, and confidence in walking, leading to long-term changes in independence. A widow grieving the loss of a spouse may not just face sadness. They may experience physical decline, higher risk of illness, and even hospitalization. Arcs. Research published in fields like gerontology and resilience science shows that around this age, the body's homeostatic reserve, its ability to stabilize and recover, shrinks. Immune responses are weaker, repair mechanisms slower, muscle strength reduced, and organ systems less coordinated. Put simply, the body's safety net is thinner and the margin for error is smaller. The scary part is that the decline often feels sudden. A person may feel relatively fine in their early 70s, still gardening, cooking, and traveling. But crossing into the late 70s or early 80s, challenges appear more quickly and recovery feels more uncertain. It's not that the body suddenly changes overnight. It's that the hidden reserves that were silently carrying the load for decades finally reach their limit. Take the example of Mr. Ali, a vibrant 79-year-old who loved taking morning walks. One winter, he slipped on the ice and fractured his wrist. In his younger years, such an injury would have healed quickly. But now, the fracture led to weeks of immobility, which caused muscle loss in his legs, balance issues, and eventually a fear of walking outdoors. What started as a small accident spiraled into a chain reaction, forcing him to give up his beloved morning routine. This story reflects the reality that once resilience weakens, small problems often cascade into bigger ones. And it's not just physical resilience. Emotional resilience also declines. Seniors often face the loss of lifelong friends, spouses, or independence, while younger adults might bounce back from grief or loneliness with new activities and social circles. Older adults often struggle more deeply. Stress hormones take longer to return to normal, and the psychological burden lingers, sometimes even triggering physical health problems. This doesn't mean there's no hope. While resilience naturally declines, it can also be strengthened and supported. Studies suggest that maintaining regular physical activity, eating nutrient-rich meals, staying socially connected, and engaging the mind through learning or hobbies can all help keep resilience from collapsing entirely. It may not stop the process of aging, but it does build stronger defenses against decline. Ultimately, the decline in resilience after 75 is one of the reasons why aging feels so different past 80. It's not just that people get older. It's that the balance shifts, and the body no longer has the same hidden reserves it once had. That's why even minor stressors can suddenly feel overwhelming, why recovery takes longer, and why independence sometimes slips away faster than expected. But here's the deeper truth. Resilience is not just a physical trait. It is also a human spirit. Even when the body becomes fragile, the mind and heart can adapt, endure, and inspire strength in others. The challenge of life after 80, then, is not just about surviving with less resilience. It's about finding new ways to live with dignity, courage, and meaning, even when the body can no longer bounce back the way it once did.